Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. This is Jeskai Ephemerate, and I'm trying a new Final Fantasy card, Mysidian Elder, which is a 1/3 for 3. When it enters, you make a 0/1 black wizard token that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it pings your opponent for 1 damage. So I thought that this would be a good card in this deck because we can ephemerate it so that we can get multiple of this creature, and of course we just have a large number of non-creature spells, looks like 28, that we can ping our opponent with. So it's a Wincon card, kind of like Murmuring Mystic, but it's going to synergize better with our Ephemerates. We'll see if it ends up being a big player here, but I think this looks pretty sweet, and Jeskai Ephemerate is a control deck I've been wanting to show on the channel for a while, so I figured this would be a good opportunity. Other creatures we have in the deck include Muldrifter and Augur of Bolas, which go great with our Ephemerates. We have Brainstorms as cantrips and can set up our Augurs. For removal, we have a couple Lightning Bolts, Screds, Cast into the Fire, as well as a Thraben Charm and Destroy Evil. We play a bit of a toolbox package because our Augurs of Bolas act as pseudo-tutors. Not tutors a strong word, but they allow us to filter through our deck and pull out the cards we need. So Cast into the Fire can be really good against an artifact opponent. A Union of the Third Path, just a 1/of, is a nice life gain card. We're also playing 4 Cleansing Wildfires to ramp us, 4 Lorien Revealeds, which can pull up lands or just draw us 3 cards. And of course, a bunch of counterspells, including an extra negate. We have Bridges, a couple tap lands that can be fetched up with the Lorien Revealeds, and a couple Perilous Landscape. In our sideboard, we similarly have some 1/ofs to be kind of toolboxy, a Dust to Dust, another Destroy Evil, an Exclude, another Negate. We have 4 Hydros/Blue Blasts, 4 Red Elemental/Pyroblasts, a Breath Weapon, and a couple Campfires. So let's take this into a league and see how we do. Upstate New York Pauper is holding a charity tournament on June 21st to help support Trans Lifeline and the Trevor Project. This is looking to be a great tournament with a bunch of prizes and, of course, for a great cause. And if you're like me, pretty far away from New York, there's a place where you can donate so that you can stay involved. There's a link in the description for more details, and let's try to make the world just a little bit better. On the play here, hand looks solid. We have the ability to get all of our colors. Counterspell on 2. It's a little slow, but we can counterspell to slow things down. We can also Brainstorm Lorien if we want, so we're just going to start on a Silver Bluff and pass. Looks like we're against some mono red with an Epicure, or maybe Rakdos Madness. We get our Floodplain, so I actually might not need to cycle this Lorien. Let's just hold up Counterspell. They'll swing for 1. They play a Highway Robbery. Since they don't have to discard as part of the cost, this is just a 1/1, but I think I would like to prevent a Sneaky Snacker or something from coming out of this. I'm going to guess Mono Red Madness. Get more land. So I think we'll just play a Floodplain and pass. We don't really have anything we can do. I could Brainstorm now to try to find like a Bolt, but that doesn't really matter. So I think we'll just leave up Counterspell mana again to kind of bluff. Make them cast something that's not their favorite card to cast. Like maybe they could cast a Gutter Snipe here, but they'll cast something else instead. Another Robbery, for example. We'll let that one go. And then we can just Brainstorm Lorien on the end step. They do have the Snacker. Kind of annoying I wasn't able to deal with the Robbery, but we did delay it a turn. They got another Epicure. I think I'll Brainstorm now and just see what we have coming up. Elder and an Augur of Bolas. So Augur actually makes me want to put back the Lorien, which means I'm going to draw one of these lands again, but that's fine. So I could put these back. We'll take a damage here, and they'll attack for 1 as well. And I think we'd just play an island so that if we draw a counterspell, or if we draw any Ephemerate or Bolt or anything like that, we can play whatever. But also, we'll get the Lorien at worst. I almost think Brainstorm might be better with the Landscape than the Lorien. Tapping out for Lorien seems kind of rough, so we'll just take Brainstorm. We have a Faithless Looting. If they try to bolt this, I'll probably Brainstorm to try to find an Ephemerate. They discard a Snacker and a Mountain. Swing with the team. We'll block an Epicure and take 3 here. And they're going to Lava Dart the Augur, and then sack to Lava Dart it again, I suppose. Alright, let's dig for an Ephemerate. We don't get it, but we do get some good cards. I think we'll just keep these. Augur will die. Play our Landscape. And I could get the Elder down and hold up Counterspell. I think that seems reasonable. We're certainly just trying to stabilize before we really care about pinging them. But I think getting a blocker for the Epicure helps us stabilize. I could just Lightning Bolt the Snacker, but I don't really want them to double up on bringing the Snacker back. Especially with the blood tokens, we can't actually like counterspell that or anything. Finding a Thraben Charm would be nice. They're going to discard a Mountain here to the blood. Play a Mountain. Flame Breather. We're going to counter that guy. I think. I could just bolt it. I think we're going to counter it. I don't think there's a lot else they can have for 1 mana that I'd care to counter. Like, if they want to bolt this, that's fine. Or Lava Dart. Fair enough. They take out the Wizard. I wouldn't have been countering that anyway, though. So, happy to get rid of the Flame Breather there. We'll take 2. And here, I will Brainstorm. Cleansing Wildfire and a Scred. Okay. So, I don't think I need both Bolt and Scred, because I can just take this out, and then I can always Archaeomancer get it back if I need. And I'd like to hit some land drops, so I think I'm going to get rid of a Bridge and the Scred. And then we're going to Cleansing Wildfire for, I guess, more blue. You get another island, which I can't actually use, so I'll just play this, and we'll pass. We're going to flashback Faithless Looting. I like that they used that when they already had the other snacker, but I guess they didn't have anything else going on. They discard a Faithless and a Mountain. So I guess a Murmuring Mystic would be pretty good here, so that it could start blocking the snackers. That would be one of my better draws, I think. Augur's not bad either. Let's start with Augur for a Lorien. Okay. I'm going to bolt a snacker, and then Archaeomancer pick up the bolt, I think. I'm not actually going to use it until after they have passed their turn, because I don't want them to Faithless Looting both of their guys back, but having it for the end step is nice. We'll attack for 1. I guess if we don't draw anything, we just slam a Lorien. They get a Flame Breather. You know they have a Lava Dart. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 with the snacker. I guess a Flame Blast would kill us unless I take off the snacker. And now, unless they have a mountain, they can't get the snacker back this turn. I think I'm going to chance it and take this guy out. And then hopefully we can just draw removal for the Flame Breather with the Lorien, is my goal. And ideally they can't draw 2 more cards this turn. But we'll see. Alright, they pass. That's good for us. Muldrifter's not bad. I guess having the flyer is probably better. So maybe I just cast that. I don't need the flyer this turn. I guess I'd rather just draw an extra card. Let's draw 3. Casting the fire can take out the snackers, so that's not nothing. I guess I'll start with a Brainstorm here. See if we can pick up a removal. We do for the Flame Breather. Put back Island and a Lorien. Take out the Flame Breather. They Lava Dart us in response. They're going to sack both their lands as well. I don't think they can do both because they want to flashback this looting, but maybe they'll do 1. There's the 1. Yep, and they'll let it go. Okay. So I'll attack for 2 here. But we have a bunch more card draw because we also have another Lorien on top, and we have this Cast in the Fire to deal with the snackers for a turn. So we're not in a terrible spot, but we do need to find some life gain. There's the Faithless Looting. They have 1 Lava Dart left, so we're at a virtual 4. So I guess they find a Fire Blast, we're dead. They discard a Lightning Bolt and an Epicure, and they're going to pass. Alright, it's a bit of a risk, but I think we need to draw cards. We have the answers for the snackers, so I'm going to just try to draw more cards with the Lorien, so we can get like a negate or something, or life gain would be good too. Bolt, Wildfire. We are dead to a Fire Blast no matter what. We don't have the counter spell, so we might as well just hope to continue setting up for a better next turn. So let's Wildfire. Get a mountain this time, and attack for 2, and we'll pass. They swing with the whole team, so I'll block the Epicure, and then cast the snackers. They're gonna Lava Dart us in response, and they found the Fire Blast. We could not find a counterspell. Pretty unlucky. So we get Campfires here, and Blue Blasts. In place of, honestly, unfortunately, the Elders are not what we need in this match. We just need to stabilize and we'll be good. Destroy Evil's useless. Negate is fine at the end there, but otherwise we don't really want it. Removal's decent. And I guess Blue Blasts are better than Screds, so we can pull a couple of those. This hand's interesting. It's kind of slow, but we have a Campfire. Get any creature, we can Ephemerate it a bunch. We have a Wildfire. I don't know if it looks great, but we're going to give it a try. If they don't have artifact removal, which would be ideal, then maybe we'll be good with the Campfire and the bridges. Play a bridge and pass. Start with a Faithless Looting. They've been a snacker. Get a Brainstorm. We're just going to play a Campfire and our bridge. They have a Grab Prize on a Robbery, so flooded with the card draw spells. They get their snacker back. Draw another Wildfire. I mean, unfortunately, we just got to do this, I think. Hopefully we draw a land as well. We don't. They start with a Faithless Looting. Discard Searing Blaze and grab the prize. I guess we haven't given them any creatures for the Searing Blaze. And another grab the prize discarded. I mean, that's not bad for us. Trying to find lands, I assume. Although they have them there. We have a Muldrifter, but we don't have the extra land for the Ephemerate. Plus they've got Bolt mana up. So I think we start with Cleansing Wildfire on this bridge. Go for just more blue. We find a Lorien Revealed, so I'll cycle that for an island, play that, and we'll pass. We can leave up Campfire and a Hydroblast. Land, and they try to Gutter Snipe. We're going to counter that. I think that's going to save us more life than the Campfire. They could have a Red Blast back, but then we can hopefully kill the Gutter Snipe. I mean, we could evoke the Muldrifter and Thraben Charm the Gutter Snipe before this dies if we have to. But we also want to keep the Muldrifter with the Ephemerate, so they do counter and they go for the Snacker. 2, we're at 14. Blue Blast, okay, so that's nice. I can actually just Muldrifter, Ephemerate, and then Blue Blast the Gutter Snipe. So let's do that. Start with the Muldrifter, draw 2, another Hydroblast will Ephemerate. If they wanted, they could maybe Fire Blast this, but luckily that isn't something we have to worry about. And now I'll Blue Blast the Gutter Snipe, and I think we'll just play the Perilous Landscape so that I can use the Campfire this turn. I can't leave up a blue for like the Hydroblast to keep the Muldrifter alive, so no use caring about that. You go for a Searing Blaze. Yep, that's going to work. Deal us 3. They flashback Faithless Looting. Discard to grab the prize. Just been discarding so many card draw spells, which I appreciate. We'll offset the 2 damage here. Ephemerate's going to stay in exile because I can't cast it. Scred is not bad. Let's just start with the Brainstorm. Try to get something good. Wildfire's not bad, just so I can shuffle some of these away. Of course, we have the Landscape too, but now we won't need to use it. So we'll put back 2 lands. Wildfire. Another island. And we'll play that in case we want to use Counterspell and Thraben Charm, I suppose. We'll pass. Or we could like Thraben, Hydro, and Campfire. There's a Flame Breather. Let's just Hydroblast that. They have the Red Blast, so we'll counter it again. They'll swing for 2, and we'll offset it again. And now we are definitely in a good spot, but we are needing to draw something good here, like an Archaeomancer or the like. We have 1 Faithless Looting in the graveyard. I think we will just continue taking the Snacker damage and offsetting it. I could Scred here, but then if they get like a Gutter Snipe or a Flame Breather down, it's kind of awkward. Fjord. I'm also just going to leave this Landscape until we potentially pull like a Brainstorm. There's no reason to crack it early, because I don't need more colored mana at the moment. They are drawing cards though, like amassing cards, so it's possible that I will it's possible I want to kill the Snacker just so that they can't so that I can start going up in life, but luckily they flashback this Looting right now, which is good for me. Means they can't get the Snacker back this turn no matter what. Plus, I'm just glad that this is gone. They do have a double Fiery Temper. So yeah, we're going to take out the Snacker this turn then. Campfire here. Double Fire Blast kills us, but that seems unlikely for them to go for it, because if we have a single counter spell, they lose like most of their lands for that. Let's Scred this guy. Archaeomancer is a great draw, especially because we've got the Ephemerate. So let's just play that. Start by getting a Hydroblast, which is basically just counterspell, but it's cheaper. And then we can Ephemerate while they're tapped out for like another one. I think that's the best bet. I could go with like a Wildfire or something, but I think if we just take another one, yeah, they're going to concede. All right, game 3 here, and we'll try to do the same thing. All right, 1 land isn't going to cut it. This one's decent. 2 counterspells. We do have an awkward amount of blue mana, just the 1. We're going to keep this one, and I think I got to keep the lands too, just in case they have like a way to get rid of one of these. I mean, I'll have a Hydroblast for it, but I think we're getting rid of the Scred since we already have removal spells if we need them. They're on a mulligan to 5. That helps. They just play a mountain and pass. I'm going to start with the island, because if I play a Rustvale Bridge and they cast this into the fire, it's pretty bad for us. They don't have another land. That's pretty good. Now we're going to play this, protect the land, but also if they don't have another land, we're going to be in a good spot. They do find it. 2-drop. They grab the prize with a snacker, but we have the answer, luckily. Pretty good for us. Would love an island. Because I don't really want to play an augur here, because if they go with another grab, I kind of want to have another hydroblast up, but I guess I kind of have to. Well, you know, I guess I can just pass. Hydroblast if they go for anything annoying. If not, I can brainstorm and then set up an augur. So that's something. There's a flame breather. That's probably something I should blast. I guess I can blast it later, though. Yeah, let's just brainstorm. Try to get another island. Yeah, nice. And now we can just set up this brainstorm, play an augur, grab the brainstorm, and then hydroblast the flame breather. Possible that the flame breather, seeing as they only have 3 cards in hand, it wasn't even that big of a deal, and I should have just waited because, again, a grab the prize is probably worse. And yeah, I can admit that might have been a better choice to just hold up the hydro. Because they have the highway robbery. They get at least 1 snacker back. They sacrifice a mountain. Okay, well, I like that. A second ago, they didn't have enough lands. Now they have too many, apparently. But didn't want to discard 1. Lorien Revealed is not bad. I'm not going to just cast that because they could have a pyro. So I guess I'm going to brainstorm and then potentially just augur again here. We get some good cards. I do want a land. So I can put back like this and then augur for the Lorien. They red elemental blast that. Okay. So we'll attack for 1 because I don't expect any haste in their deck. And I could light Lorien to get rid of the Lorien on top. Which I guess I don't need another, but I do like card draw. I guess we'll just landscape. And I can always shuffle away if I want later. They play another mountain, getting in for their first 2 damage. And they're gonna pass. I think I do want to draw something different actually. So let's just grab another island. Untap, brainstorm. Let's brainstorm. They're gonna red blast that. I think I'm okay with that. Back for 1. I guess I'll pass. It's hard because I kind of want to cycle the Lorien for a land so that if I draw another land, I can go with a Muldrifter with Counterspell backup. But I also kind of just want to slam one of these. And then if they have something, I'll just have the other one to cast. I'm not sure why they keep casting these pre-combat. If I have like a bolt to kill the snacker, why would you not want this to be after the snacker's died, you know? But they only have 1 card in hand. It could be a red elemental blast, but... Which, the fact that they used 1 on a brainstorm makes me think it probably is. Scred. I don't know. I think I'm just slamming the Lorien because I'd actually prefer that to get countered over the Muldrifter. And if it doesn't, good for us. Hey, nice. Union's really good. Alright, the fact that that resolved, I think, puts us very firmly in the lead. We're already ahead, but now it's substantial, I think. They lightning bolt us. Kind of a weird time to do it. I guess when we're tapped out. Fair enough. Attack for 2. Ephemerate's pretty good. So I think I want to do this next turn with the counterspell backup. So I'm going to cycle this Lorien for an island. And I'm probably this turn going to use Union for 5 life and then Scred this guy. They plot a highway robbery. So let's Union of the 3rd path to draw a card and gain 5. That's a bridge. And I'll just shoot the snacker. It'll probably come back next turn when they cast the robbery, but that's still 2 turns off. Or maybe they have another robbery right now. No, they just lava dart us. Again, weird time. Blue Blast is pretty good. If they'd kept the lava dart, they could have at least tried to interact with this Muldrifter Evoke, but they did not. So we'll draw 2 cards, Ephemerate it, draw 2 more, and I suppose we will just leave up a Blue Blast and a Counterspell for their draw 2 and whatever else they got. Counter the robbery. They drew a red blast, so we'll just counter it again. All right, and we take match 1. We don't have any red here and a lot of red spells, but we do have an augur, which can potentially find us to like a brainstorm or better yet, a Lorien. We're on the draw. You can keep any hint on the draw, so we'll give it a try. More burn, as we are in the burn meta. Lorien Revealed is a pretty nice draw, though. We don't have any bridges either. It is a nuisance for the wildfire. Grab the prize, Sneaky Snacker. Well, I hardly knew ye. let's just Augur Bolas. Ephemerate or Counterspell. I guess if I take the Ephemerate, they just kill this, which is probably fine. I can't really leave up a Counterspell next turn because I'm going to cycle this for red. So I guess I'll take the Ephemerate. It has good uses with these as well. They're going to attack for 2. And Highway Robbery. Another Snacker. Cast into the Fire, looking good, but a little slow. A mountain off the top would actually be very nice. They got a Carnarium. Negate. Well, I guess we'll attack and cycle a Lorien for a Fjord. Play that. I guess while they're tapped out, we'll Ephemerate this. Take another Lorien. We'll see if we're not dead yet. They grab the prize with a Kitchen Imp. So that's going to put us to 7. Plus they got the Chain Lightning. Ephemerate stays in exile. Cleansing Wildfire. Well, we'll cycle this Lorien for an island. Play that. And I guess we got to cast these into the fire. But they have 6 cards in hand. The chances we survive are infinitesimal, I think. But we'll give it a try. Take 2. Faithless Looting brings them back. Alms and a Fiery Temper. We are dead. I mean, the double Snacker starts pretty rough. We're going to bring these in. Same with the Campfires. And I think the Breath Weapon because they have Kitchen Imps as well. Again, I'm trying out these Elders, but of course, there's just so much burn right now. We'll take out a couple, like a Counterspell and a Scred as well. Alright, this one's got the Cleansing Wildfire starting and then a Campfire. We're firing it up. This hand's very similar to the one we had against Mono Red in that second or third game, I think. No Epicure for them is pretty nice. We're gonna Wildfire, grab our Plains, and pass. They have a Carnarium. Okay, slow start. I appreciate that. We might just shoot their Carnarium. Yeah, we got another Wildfire. They discard a Snacker. Nice. So I kind of want to blow up their Carnarium, and then if they go for like a grab the prize, we Thraben Charm them. I think that's what we're doing. Cleansing Wildfire on their Carnarium. They get a basic. And then we got the Thraben Charm for if they go for a grab the prize or something. They don't. That's fine by me. They're playing around it, I assume. I'm gonna start with a Brainstorm. We get a bridge. I guess they could have cast into the fire if I go for a Cleansing Wildfire, so maybe I just don't do that this turn. So I put back Bridge and Brainstorm, play a Perilous Landscape, and I just play a Campfire, and then I'll pass. They go for a Vampire's Kiss, that's fine, and they pass. We will Campfire and sack this Landscape and untap. They probably have a Pyroblast up, so I don't know if I want to go for the Lorien, but now I think I'm comfortable going for the Cleansing Wildfire. Pulling out another island. Augur of Bolas. Doesn't let us leave up the Thraben Charm, and I want to. So I think we will just pass here. Got a Razor Trap Gorge and pass. We're going to Campfire and go to our turn. Start with a Brainstorm. Bunch of lands. Let's put back Ephemerate and the Fjord. And then I'll start with an Augur. They counter that. Let's Augur again. That one works. Pick up the Ephemerate, and we'll pass. They do an Alms of the Vein. An Ephemerate here, but then I can't protect the Augur, so I think I'll just let it go. They're going to pass, and we'll Campfire. Untap, we get a Scred. I kind of want a Lorien, but I also don't want to... I don't have any way to protect it. No counterspells or anything. And I don't really want to get it Pyroblasted, so I think... I mean, I could do it and then go for an Ephemerate in response, but if they Pyro and then just have a Lightning Bolt for this, that's kind of rough. So I think I'm in a good spot with my Campfire. I'm just going to wait until they tap out a little bit more on their turn to go for anything. Or at least we have some counterspells or something. We're going to Molten Rain our Plains. Interesting. Destroy target land. I guess I can't do anything about that unless I draw a counterspell if I Ephemerate this. You know, we'll do it because if they just bolt in response, then I can Lorien Revealed. They let that go. We get a Hydroblast. I do think I'd like to keep my white source, although I can get another, but I don't want to cycle this Lorien, so let's just counter target spell if it's red. Although now I could have just let it go, and then they'd have no way to kill this, and I can get another trigger off of it. They have the Red Blast. Okay. Didn't want to use it on the auger. Maybe because they thought it was bait. All right, we will let it go, I suppose. But they did tap out, mostly. So I think this was pretty good for us. Counterspell is great. Another Lorien's not bad, actually, because we can use that to get our white source. But we're going to cast a Lorien here. If I use it to get my white source, I tap out of Counterspell, but I have a blue blast. Let's just do that. They try to blow it up again, I guess that's fine. We'll pass. I think we have the tools we need in hand, even if they do get rid of it. We'll just have, like, Muldrifter with a bunch of Counterspell backup at this point. They do go for another Molten Rain. Let's try to counter that. Oh, and that works instantly. Okay. In that case, we're in a very good spot. Attack, Muldrifter, play an island, and I think we're good. I don't know what they have in hand, but it's not anything amazing. It's Campfire, Silver Bluff Bridge, attack, Campfire, and pass. We got a Faithless Looting. I think that's fine. This is probably where we're going to get rid of the Snacker. Hopefully they'll discard another Snacker or something. With the looting, plus we can get the looting itself. Now, they discard Fiery Temper and Alms. We will still exile the graveyard, though, since we still have our white source. It's going to deal us 6. I'm not too concerned with any of that, so we'll let it all go. Oh, actually, they take out our Muldrifter. That makes sense. I maybe should have countered that, but that's all right. Aldaran Epicure is fine. Another Silver Bluff Bridge. Gain 2 life, and we should have protected the Muldrifter because now we have a very slow clock. I still think we're going to win this one by a mile. It's just going to take a lot longer. Another Faithless Looting. I think that's fine. Fiery Temper and a Kitchen Imp. We can just take out the Kitchen Imp with a Bolt or a Scred, probably. They temper the Augur. I guess we'll try not to let that happen this time. Scred the Kitchen Imp. Take 1. Another Campfire. So we'll gain 4 here. Blood token away a Snacker. And then they cast the Faithless Looting, which will counter this time. Yeah, I mean, the longer this goes on without us drawing anything good, the rougher it is, and that's not great. We are gaining life here, but they are amassing more cards than we are, even. Molten Rain. That is our last white source, except for we haven't drawn any of our white bridges. I think that's fine. We don't have that many white spells in the deck. Ideally, we'll find a white bridge before we get one. Vampire's Kiss. I guess we'll counter that, since it can draw him 2 extra cards. Take 1 from the Epicure. Perilous Landscape, which we can no longer cycle, is kind of annoying until we get a bridge, but we're just going to keep it in hand because it also doesn't fetch a white source. Another Epicure. We can ping those off with the Cast of the Fire. Discard an Alms of the Vein. Ping off these guys. There's a Muldrifter. That's pretty good. Draw 2. Breath Weapon and Union, neither of which are very good right now, but good to have for later. Gain some life. Vampire's Kiss. That one's going to resolve this time. Pitch a Kitchen Imp. And get back a Snacker. They just pass. There's a Counterspell. I don't really want a Breath Weapon while we have this Muldrifter around, so probably wait until they kill it or something. They grab the prize before they've attacked again. Maybe they're not attacking, though. It's a draw, too, so I guess we'll get rid of it. They have the Red Blast. And a Faithless Looting. With another Kitchen Imp. Well, if they swing with everything here, we're going to Breath Weapon. If they don't, we'll just let it go. Let's sweep these guys away. Augur Bolas is a good draw. Into a Cleansing Wildfire is not bad. I think we may have all of our basics. Pretty sure we have all of our basics, so I might as well blow up their lands. We draw Rustvale Bridge, that's not bad. Attack and pass. Flashback the looting. Get the Snacker and an Epicure. I don't think we've seen a single Archaeomancer. No. We got 2 of those, plus our Murmuring Mystic. They plot a Highway Robbery. We draw a Brainstorm. Let's just start with that. Get Archaeomancer. Put back these 2. Let's cast it for Ephemerate. They very graciously tapped out, so we will Ephemerate and pick up a Counterspell. And we'll swing. They just pass, so we'll gain 4 on the end step. Try to Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. That works, so we'll pick up the Ephemerate. Another bridge. So I guess we'll just go for the Archaeomancer again. And pick up a Lorien Revealed. Yeah, do that. Draw 3. We're gonna Pyroblast that. I guess that's fine. Swing with the Augurs. They double block. We'll shoot the Epicure. Damage and pass. Alright, we've pretty much gained control of the game, I believe. Took a little while. This deck is not super fast by any means. They have a Fiery Temper, which they can cast at the Archaeomancer if they want. I'm going to counterspell it, but they could have something else. But we still know we have another Archaeomancer and a Murmuring Mystic in our in the 13 cards left in our deck. So they cast a Highway Robbery, sacrifice a land. They have a Grab the Prize with a Fiery Temper. So that's going to take out the Archaeomancer. Campfire, we get to Ephemerate and Augur for a Blue Blast. Get through some lands. There's another Archaeomancer. Pick up that Ephemerate. Ephemerate for a counterspell. And once we have enough counterspells and we're just confident that we're not going to die, which is pretty close. In fact, I think I'll just cast this Union here. Then we can just start like bolt looping them and kill them a lot faster. There's another Ephemerate, which I'll just save that for now. We'll bolt them here and we'll pass. So now if they try to kill it, we can Ephemerate in response, and then we have 2 counterspells, and that should be good. Vampire's Kiss. Blot a Highway Robbery. They're not even bothering with attacks. We're going to Ephemerate. And now we'll just start picking up the Lightning Bolt. Bolt them at the end step. Ephemerate Archaeomancer. Pick up the Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Pick up the Ephemerate. Attack for 2. Block with the Snacker. Ephemerate here. Pick up the Bolt. Bolt them and pass. Cast a Faithless Looting. They also might just mill out before we do, which is also kind of cool. As long as we don't draw any extra cards, which I'm not really planning to. Also, we have campfires, so we certainly won't mill out before them. They get back a Kitchen Imp and a Snacker. Ephemerate. A couple Lightning Bolts. Upkeep. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Archaeomancer the Ephemerate. Guess I can pop this out. Put it over here, Ephemerate this guy, this guy, this guy. You know what I'm doing. Bolt. And this is the part of this type of a deck. I don't mind a control deck. I don't love a control E combo deck because I have to do this. And this is not really my favorite thing to do. But I'll do it if it needs to be done, don't you worry. One more go round and we should be fine. They're going to discard and draw. Cast a Highway Robbery. I'm fine to let them draw more cards. Carnarium, discard. I don't know what they're drawing for, but they're certainly going to go out. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer, Archaeomancer the Ephemerate, Archaeomancer the Ephemerate, Ephemerate this guy. I guess I don't even need to bolt them. But then I'm going to feel like my hard work was wasted, so let's just do it anyway. Alright, we won the game. And that was only game 2. This is why I don't play Jeskai Ephemerate. Alright, this hand looks not very good. We have 1 piece of interaction and 2 basically useless cards. So let's mulligan. This hand looks a little better. I guess we're just getting rid of an island here. Also, we gotta play a little faster because if the same thing happens, then we need to make sure we have some time. Hope they don't cast this bridge, but they do. Kinda rude. Play an island, but they're not doing anything else. Let's just cycle for another island so we can play an Augur, which they are probably going to counter. No, they'll let it go. We're going to get a Brainstorm. Not doing anything at all. That's interesting. We're going to cycle for red here. I guess they're waiting for our non-basic lands so they can blow them up. Did they keep an all destroy your lands hand? That'd be interesting. No, now they got to grab the prize with a Kitchen Imp. And a Carnarium, which I might want a Cleansing Wildfire. They swing for 2. Get a Plains. I think I will shoot this and play a Plains and attack and pass. Hold up Ephemerate and Brainstorm. We can get this Mystic through. We'll be in a good spot. If they just go with like another Kitchen Imp, we can double wipe with the Breath Weapon. We're going to cast an Alms of the Vein. They might just be in a rough spot here, to be honest. There's a Lightning Bolt. I want a little bit more. Let's Brainstorm. Ooh, not great. Let's put back a Cleansing Wildfire, which doesn't look great here. Augur Bolas for the Brainstorm, I guess. Attack, I guess we're just gonna bolt this Kitchen Imp, pass, because I mean, they're hard casting Alms of the Vein, but we're still dying, which is kind of unfortunate. So we're gonna scred this guy, and they're gonna Fiery Temper us. Well, we need some life gain or something. I guess holding up Hydroblast will help. Let's Brainstorm. Campfire's good. So let's put back Breath Weapon and Mystic for now. And let's... I think we want to hold up both Hydros. Let's just Campfire. That seems good. They're going to hardcast a Kitchen Imp. I'm going to bolt it. They have a Cast into the Fire for the Campfire, which is where Campfire is, but we're going to counter that. Now we have a Mystic, but I think we want to still just hold up all this stuff. I guess we'll Ephemerate here. I think that's fine. Use up our mana, get a counter spell. Maybe Union would have been good there, but I kind of like having double counter spell here now. And Ephemerate onto our Augur. They're going to try to Red Blast. I'll Hydro Blast that, which I guess they know we have the counter spell, so maybe I should have used that. They're going to Fiery Temper. We're going to counter spell. I don't mind just using up their burn on this, especially since after it we get, well, we get nothing, but that's okay. We get another Augur for another Hydro. Okay. Well, next turn I get to probably Mystic and then Hydroblast. Seems solid. We're going to pass. Actually, I think we'll start with... no, I can do that after. Yeah, let's just play a Murmuring Mystic with a Hydroblast backup. Alright, and we get there after a hard-fought match. Alright, Vanilla James has been playing some mono-black control recently, so I'm hoping that this Elder actually gets a little bit of use here. Wooded Ridgeline, okay, maybe not. That makes me think they're probably just Gruul Ramp, which would be another one where Elder's probably not amazing. 3 Visits is interesting. It is Ramp. It looks like Jund something or other. Well, we can Ramp too, so let's Wildfire. Pull out I think just another island. We have an Ash Barrens for a mountain. Is this weird Ponza? Yeah, that was the feeling I was getting. Thermokarst, and the life gain, they actually gained a life off of our... That's illegal. Alright, well, I guess I'll just Augur Bolas here. So, weird Ponza is what I'm playing against. So, I think all the lands we can get would be good. Take a Lorien and get a bridge down. I couldn't hold up a counterspell that turn, otherwise I would have. But because they took our second blue, we couldn't. Alright, they play a Repurposer and just pass. That's pretty good for us. I could hold up a counterspell, which they're probably going to have like a 7-drop. So that seems prudent. I kind of want to get down the Elder and start pinging them, but we need to just survive first. And I can only assume that the black splash is for like Trolls of Khazad-dûm, which could be really scary. But we're going to pass for now. They have an Avenging Hunter. We're definitely countering that. Swing with 3 Repurposer. We're going to cycle a Lorien for an island. Take 3 here. Archaeomancer is decent. I think I'm just going to put down a Muldrifter so that if they go with another Avenging Hunter, we can at least steal it right away. 2 bridges is fine, I guess. 1 damage probably isn't going to make the difference, and I might want to chump with like the Augur if they have a boarding party. If I could have played the Archaeomancer and held up a counterspell, I might have done that, but since I couldn't, they have an Arms of Hadar main deck. Interesting. Well, I got our Muldrifter, but not the worst thing ever. We take another 3. Ephemerate's pretty good. Okay. So I could play Archaeomancer, but I actually think we're going to play the Elder, because if they can't do much here, maybe they are just waiting on... maybe they wanted to kill the Muldrifter so that we can't take the initiative. But I can Ephemerate here, the Elder, get another one of these wizards, and then Brainstorm, ping them for 2. Upkeep, I get a 3rd wizard, and then I'm pinging them for 3 for everything, and then I can Archaeomancer back the Ephemerate. That seems pretty strong to me. So I feel like we might be able to kill them faster than they can kill us, actually. They're going to attack here. What are the chances they have any removal? Ponza usually doesn't play removal, but the fact that they are playing weird stuff, I'm not going to just assume that they're not going to have removal spells. They're going to Pulse of Marasa back and Ash Barrens. Okay, the life is kind of annoying, to be honest, since we are just trying to ping them down, and they just play the Ash Barrens. Feels like they have like a breath weapon then. But I think I'm just going to Ephemerate this. If they have something, we can just Archaeomancer it back. If they kill the Elder, I'll survive. They do have a Lightning Bolt. Okay, well, that's fine, I guess. We'll Brainstorm as well here. I don't really want all of these lands, so I might just upkeep Lorien cycle. That feels pretty good to me. It's kind of like drawing 3 cards by not drawing all of these lands. They only have 2 cards left. Man, imagine if we just got a bunch of those wizard tokens, though. That'd be pretty sick. Pick up an island. We draw another Lorien revealed. I don't hate that, honestly. Let's just... I guess we're just going to play an Augur, actually. Actually, maybe I should brainstorm first. Let's do that. Put back this brainstorm and this land. Oh, look, we found a brainstorm. And then I can brainstorm again and put back this Lorien and this land. And I can Augur again for a... I guess we got the lightning bolt. We'll take a Scred. They have another hunter or something. We'll want a Scred. All right. They do have an annoyed Altasaur. That's what we have the Scred for. They find a lightning bolt, which they can use to pick off an Augur. And they do. So they can attack him with a repurposer. Since they have lightning bolts in their deck, I almost do just want to chump here, annoyingly, but that's okay. Silver Bluff Bridge. We need one more land or one more snow land. So let's Union of the Third Path first. Gain 6, ping them for 1. See if we top deck our land. We don't, but we get another Elder. All right, so we're gonna cycle this Lorien for an island. Play the island. Play the Elder. Now we can Scred this Altasaur, and we'll attack for 1. Alright, and we'll pass. Still have the Archaeomancer. I didn't really want to cycle the Lorien at this point. I wanted to keep it to draw. They have a Thermokarst. But, what are you going to do? I wanted to kill the Altasaur that turn. They have 1 card left in hand, and we're going to take 3. Lorien's a pretty good draw, though. Or I could just go with the Archaeomancer for an Ephemerate. That feels probably better. So we'll play that, pick up the Ephemerate. Play a bridge, attack for 2, and they're going to concede. All right, the Wizards honestly were pretty decent this time. It's slow enough that they were going to be good. If I knew they were playing bolts and stuff, I probably wouldn't have made that play that I made before. So, you know, good to know. We're going to want negates so that our lands don't get countered. And exclude feels good, and destroy evil feels good. Cast into the Fire seems irrelevant. Thraben Charm doesn't seem extremely relevant either. So it feels like more of a mid-range Ponza, whereas normal Ponza is more of an aggro deck that ramps into it really quickly. It does play 3 visits, though, which is interesting. I guess it can get the Haunted Mire. I'm trying to figure out why they play black other than a main deck Arms of Hadar, though. 1 more card to take out. Union, maybe, but kind of liked gaining 6. Pulling us back from the brink, especially because they have lightning bolts. I think maybe just like a Brainstorm's fine to cut. All right, here we have an Augur, Ephemerate, but we do have indestructible bridges. I guess for that reason we're going to keep it. We don't have a blue bridge, which is annoying, but just not having our lands destroyed for the first couple turns could be nice. They start again with the ridgeline. We get an island. That's not bad, just so we can play the Augur on turn 2. And we have plenty of lands in case they do blow up more. Another reason I didn't mind this hand is just it's pretty Ponza-proof. They're going to cycle an Ash Barrens for a forest. Play that and pass. Silver Buff Bridge if I want to be more Ponza-proof. I guess that's probably better. Let's do that. Cycle a Generous End or another forest. They have a repurposer. There's an Elder. I think we'll just start with the Augur, though. Keep playing Indestructible Bridges. Destroy Evil, Counterspell Lorien. I guess we'll take the Destroy Evil. They could play like a... what's his name? An Avenging Hunter next turn. And I can't counterspell it, so I'd like to have an answer for it. I still couldn't get through because of Repurposer, but I think that's fine. They are going to swing and just pass. Maybe they have all destruction lands. Okay. Well, now I can just play Elder and hold up Ephemerate. So I'll pass. I should have probably played this mountain because I don't want the island to get destroyed. I'd prefer the mountain gets destroyed than the island, so that was a mistake. They have a boarding party. Into a Thermokarst. Yep, that was definitely a mistake. They're going to swing with both. I will block here. And I would prefer to have the Augur at this point because I don't think I'm trying to ping them. But we are going to Ephemerate this and get a bunch of these guys. See how it goes. I mean, it pings pretty fast. But I think I might want another card. I'd love to get a Counterspell or something. So we'll do the Ephemerate. Lightning Bolt or Cleansing Wildfire. We already have a Scred and a Destroy Evil, so I'll take the Wildfire. We get a Fjord. So I'll play Mountain. Cleansing Wildfire this bridge. We are pinging them for 2. Tutoring up an island. Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we have answers for these guys. So I think I'll swing for 1 here. I mean, Bolt is also just 5 damage to the face. Like, these are Kessig Flame Breathers, basically, minus the stats. They have the Acid Moss, keeping us down on blue. That's fine. Oh, I guess Scred is pretty useless, I wasn't thinking about. So I kind of have to just throw this Bolt at the boarding party then, because this is only 1 damage. I should have maybe used it before, but that wouldn't have been good. Yeah, we'll just pass here. Another Elder. Okay, well. Let's play a Fjord. If it dies, so be it. Play another Elder. Cycle and Ash Barrens. They only have 1 card in hand left. So I'm feeling pretty good. Especially since our Scred does 2 damage to a creature, but 3 damage to an opponent. They have a land and an Altasaur. They reveal a Lightning Bolt. They kill off the Elder. That's fine. Elder is not how I'm going to kill you. And they concede. Alright. We were going to Scred at the end step for 3 damage and then destroy evil this guy. And a Lightning Bolt off the top, we would have went 1 right there. Alright, we got a 1-lander with not even the mana to cast Brainstorm if we wanted to try to Brainstorm lock ourselves. So we're not going to keep that one. This one's better, although this Wildfire is a little awkward. Maybe so much so that we'll just get rid of it. Because we want to go turn 1 Snow-Covered Island, cycle for red-blue. Maybe I play an Augur. Yeah, it's pretty awkward, but we're going to get rid of it. Could have gotten rid of the Elder, but which may have been better, but there's just no guarantee the Wildfire is going to be any good, and especially if we're against an opponent like that. Oh, look, we found our Rustveil Bridge, which I'm not upset about, but obviously I would have preferred to have the Wildfire now. But I want to try out this Elder. I mean, he was kind of good last match. If this is Jund or Affinity, I think Elder could be decent. The guy does die to Krark Clan Shaman pretty easily, but having the ability to just ping them out in a longer game could be nice. And it looks like Affinity to me. Lightning Bolt's not bad. Let's just start with an Augur. A whiff, unfortunate. Okay, there go all our Rustveil Bridges. Next turn we'll probably just cycle Lorien and hold up Counterspell. Not going great. Augur could have been better. Could have kept the Wildfire. They have a Familiar here. Well, we've been talking up this Elder, but I think it's our weakest card. And there's an Enforcer right away. Muldrifter. Well, I could hold up Counterspell, but I kind of just want to take out this Familiar while I can. So I guess I'll do that. Cycle this for a Fjord, bolt the Familiar, and pass. They're going to crack the Wellspring. They have Vault, and they have another Familiar. Guess we'll discard the Plains. Now a Blowgun. Now we have our Elder. Again. If we didn't have to discard 2 cards and mulligan once, I think we'd be okay keeping the Elder, but we're just gonna have to, run out that Muldrifter to try to hit our land drop. I guess there's no reason to leave this back. But we're looking rough, I'll tell you what. Another Mirror Enforcer. There's a Mist Vault. Swing for 6. Wellspring. We draw all 3 of our Elders. I guess we'll play one of these. Hold up a Counterspell. They're gonna bargain. I think we just gotta let it go. If they only had like 1 card in hand, maybe I would have kept it or counterspelled it, but they had 3, so it just doesn't feel like it's gonna make that big of a difference. Same with the Thoughtcast. Krark can wipe out all of these guys and just attack for lethal, so I guess we gotta kill that. Wellspring. And a Spellbomb. Yep. I guess we'll block here. Lorien revealed. Sure, let's draw 3. And we're dead. Well, if I knew it was going to go that poorly, I would probably have had more Dust to Dust in our sideboard. But we get Negate, Dust to Dust, a couple Hydroblasts for Krark Clan and Pyroblast and things. Destroy Evil is just an expensive Scred. Raven Charm's fine. Union is probably not necessary. We have a Cast of the Fire. I guess Bolts aren't great. Elder... well, I'll take out an Elder. Or 2. Exclude, honestly, might not be terrible. It's kind of expensive. I guess maybe Union's just better. No, I think Exclude's decent. Alright, we'll try that. Alright, here we have a reasonable hand. Cleansing Wildfire we can actually use. And a Cast into the Fire as well. Which I could use on turn 1 instead. I might do that. Set him back a little bit. Play a bridge. They also play a bridge. Yeah, I think we'll just try to get rid of their first bridge. They have another, but now we can cycle Lorien. An island, play that, Cleansing Wildfire, and now we've got 4 times as many lands as they have. That feels good. I guess I'll get planes on the off chance that that I draw like an Ephemerate for this Muldrifter. There's a Seat and a Spell Bomb. Kind of annoying because I was just thinking about Archaeomancering Cast into the Fire. Alright, let's just Lorien, cycle that, or I guess at most I'm gonna play like an Exclude, so we'll just play the Fjord and pass. Hold up a counterspell of some variety. Have a Swamp. Another Spell Bomb. Guess that's fine. Archaeomancer's just kind of a waste. Now they Thought Cast. I guess I'll counter the Thought Cast. Try to keep their card count low. They got a Red Blast for it though. I guess that's fine. Sack this for an island. Another Archaeomancer, which are currently pretty useless. I'm just gonna Muldrifter. I could cast an Archaeomancer, try to get them to use these bombs up while they don't have mana, which I'll probably try to do at some point, but I think I'd rather just like get down to Muldrifter, I hit my land drop, which I did, and then just like start attacking at the very least. There's a familiar. I guess we'll get rid of an Archaeomancer that feels real hopeless right now. There's a Wellspring, Mirror Enforcer, Mirror Enforcer. Of course. Moment you tap out, that's what happens. Guess we will play this guy. Try to pick up this Cast of the Fire. They crack a Spell Bomb, play a bridge. I'm gonna block 2 of these guys. They're gonna pass end step. I'm gonna try to bolt down the Enforcer. That worked, nice. And now we just hold up counterspells and hope we get a Scred, I guess, for this other Enforcer, because otherwise it's just gonna kill us. We'll take 4 here. They cast another, that's not bad. We get to exclude that. They have the Pyro, or Red Blast, I guess we'll counter that. Would like to get our 2 for 1. We do, with another counterspell, and they're out of cards. But all we have is a counterspell. That's a Blood Fountain. We have a counterspell for it, which is very good and important. They crack their Spell Bomb. Okay. Looking for a Pyro. No way. Oh my. Some people have all the luck. I guess a Dust to Dust, because they don't have the mana for the Blood Fountain, would be really good. Nope. They get a counterspell. We get a counterspell. Well, that's kind of outrageous. Next turn, we could have gone for an Augur if they hadn't gotten the Red Blast, and then we could have found an Ephemerate, or just a Scred, which would find us a Wildfire, which would find us a bridge. Alright, we're on the play here. This hand looks solid enough. Well, now our opponent is very unlucky, mulliganing to 5. We'll play a Floodplain and pass. Great Furnace and a Goblin Tomb Raider. 5 on mono red, looks like. Rustvale Bridge. I'm just going to start with the Augur and Lightning Bolt. We already have a Lightning Bolt, but another isn't bad. Yeah, just so we can survive longer, I think we'll do that. Augur's nice because it blocks. If it dies, that's unfortunate, but if it doesn't die, it blocks, and also it Thraben Charms something. But it did die, that's fair. Attack for 2. Silver Bluff Bridge. Let's brainstorm, see if we can hit an untapped red. No, but we do get a counterspell. That means we can't play a red source this turn, which I really kind of want to. Destroy Evil looks pretty irrelevant this match. And Thraben Charm doesn't look good either. So we're just going to get rid of those and cycle the Lorien to get rid of them for good. Don't love that this Tomb Raider ended up dealing 6 damage to us, but couldn't really do anything about it. At least we can stop it now. Cycle the Lorien for an island. And play a Rustvale Bridge and pass. We have a Bolt and a Counterspell now. We'll just save them the time. Finally bolt this guy. And they pass. Okay, that's looking good for us. I would like to stop drawing lands, though. 8 is plenty. I'd say 3 more than plenty. Epicure, I don't think I'm going to counter that. I'm assuming they're playing Pinger Burn, so I'd rather counter something worse. Brainstorm's really good. Let's hit a shuffle effect. No, we have a lot of removal, though. So I guess this is what we got to work with for the next 2 turns, is a whole lot of removal and nothing else. Currently Scred's only hitting for 2, but it'll get up there. But we're going to Scred this guy since we have more removal coming. They're going to pass. Or rather, we have islands coming, but we have more removal in hand. We'll pass. I assume they're just sitting on a stack of burn spells. Yep, there's a bolt. Experimental Synth, I think, is worth countering. They've got the time that's 2 cards and a 2/2, which seems bad for us. This is another island. Now we get new cards. Come on, something good. Lorien Revealed. Cleansing Wildfire is okay. It's at least a redraw. Casting the Fire's not great. It's mostly just more removal, but I guess we'll take it. A Galvanic Blast. I'm going to exile their Great Furnace in response. Maybe just their Blood token. Yeah, I'm going to do their Blood token in response. Take off their Metalcraft. I have another Galvanic Blast. Can't do anything about that one. Now we're down to 4. I have a Thermo Alchemist. We can kill that. I would love a Union. I guess Union to the Third Path would gain us an extra life if we just hold this. Let's hold it for one turn. An Elder. That's not great, but I guess we might as well cast it first for an extra damage on them. Take out the Alchemist. They have a Chain Lightning. Okay, I can't throw back or anything. It feels like they have another Bolt, but they just are waiting to see. Yeah, they're just waiting till our upkeep. We just drew 1,000,000 lands, dude. And look, more lands were coming. Who cares if they mulligan to 5 if we just draw all lands? Alright, we'll bring these in. We'll bring in Campfires. I'm gonna bring in Dust to Dust because they're playing Galv Blast, so it feels a little better. Take out the Destroy Evil, Thraben Charm. Again, Elders are not great. I want to keep playing them, but just not the match for them. I think these would be fine in this deck if there was a more reasonable disbursement of decks at the moment, but there's just so much burn. Okay, I've talked myself out of it. Dust to Dust still seems a little overkill. Cast into the Fire seems good, but this is a lot of lands again. I know I'm choosing that, but we have a Cleansing Wildfire into Murmuring Mystic. Certainly need to draw a couple good cards, but start with an Epicure. Scred. Let's just Wildfire this. Get another blue. They swing for 1. Play a Ren's Resolve, Epicure, and a Synth. We are drawing a lot of lands. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to play this Murmuring Mystic. Maybe they have a Red Blast and they just kill it. Maybe they don't. If they do, they probably have to waste these guys, or at least one of these guys, which seems decent. They start with the Synth, unless they just turn up a mountain. There's a Lightning Bolt. They play the Epicure, and they have the Pyroblast, so they waste a Lightning Bolt, but still unfortunate. We draw an Ephemerate. If I knew we were getting that, I might have just waited on it, but we've again drawn a lot of lands. I know we kept 4, but we've drawn 2, which is a lot. We're going to counterspell this Synth. I have a Percussionist and another. I guess I'll Scred one of these guys and take 3. Augur's pretty good. Take a Scred. I'll play the Mountain. I feel like the chances they try to bolt this are pretty high, so we'll have the Ephemerate for it. They have another bolt, so be it. There's the Chain Lightning, Ephemerate. They do have another bolt. We will Scred the Epicure and another Scred. I think we'll just take 2 from these guys. Save this for this guy. Shoot it down. Augur's good. Lightning Bolt is fine. They're gonna pass. We draw more land. Crack the Synth for a Pyroblast. That's gonna take out the Augur. And we'll take 2. Campfire's not bad. We'll just use that right away. Bolt the Samurai. Got another Flame Breather and another Flame Breather. Lorien Revealed's a pretty good draw. We get a Brainstorm. And I'm not under any illusion. I may have misplayed this game. Maybe that wasn't a keep because it was pretty slow. This is still a little ridiculous, is it not? I don't think we can win. I mean, I can stave off 2 for the next 3 turns, but that's just not going to cut it. So, well, we started pretty strong, 3-0. I was hoping to get a trophy, and then we had just 2 abysmal matches. Grixis Affinity felt like not a very good matchup for us at all, which probably means we should have more Dust to Dusts in our sideboard. I ripped the sideboard from just an online list I found, so feels like we maybe need a couple more of those. And Red, I mean, we previously beat Red. It was the Madness version versus the Pinger Burn. I think we have an okay match against Red, especially after sideboard, but we maybe kept some bad hands, admittedly. Maybe didn't play perfectly. Maybe I shouldn't have kind of YOLO'd the Murmuring Mystic. but I also certainly drew very poorly with 5 lands in a row on that very last turn and some other things. So I think the Elder maybe isn't the best right now, just because there's still so much burn. Obviously, there's always a lot of burn, but in the last couple of weeks, it's been even more so than usual. So maybe it's something to wait on a little bit, but I still think it could be pretty decent in this deck at some point. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, FaZe, Styx, Lars, and JMW. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you all next time.